if a halfling gets a game over screen if it sleeps with Halsin in bear form. The floor is yours.
We need to hire him them as a writer.
I think that's a good place to start. Jokes aside, like the past month, it's been bears. Bears are all the rage. Sven, like, did you expect that to go public when it did, and how it did, and like, how are you guys writing the like marketing aspect of the fact that you can have some extracurricular activities with bears and maybe other things in your game? Like, how is that? How did that come to be?
Oh, it's many questions all in one. So it certainly blew up much bigger than we expected. We didn't expect it to go this large. As how did it come to be? Very natural, to be honest. If you know the character,
Nice.
Halsin, who's a druid in the game, he's been around for many hundreds of years. So he's seen things, he's done things. He can wild shape. So he's been spending time with wolves and with bears and what have you. So he talks about it very openly. And so he becomes a companion later in the game if you do certain things for him. But he's very open-minded. So he, in this particular scene, basically says, well, we've been interested in one another, and you can see what happens, right? I mean, like he turns into a bear, holds himself back, and then it's up to you what you do. And then the cinematic team did a really good scene around it because I have the little squirrel that comes in, which makes it like funny as it was intended to be.
Sure.
We picked that scene because it showed a lot of things at the same time. It showed deep characters with a lot of background. It showed you good cinematics. It showed you humor. It showed you a number of things that you would not expect from the game, that gives you choices even at moments like that. So it shows lots of aspects that make BG3 the game that it is, and so that's why we liked it, and it did a really good job actually.
Yeah, I mean it took over social media. I didn't expect to see that many bears.
It not only took over social media. What was so interesting about that scene is all of a sudden Baldur's Gate was popping up in mediums on websites that, you know, Baldur's Gate 3 probably never would be on, but now it's like this thing happened in it. Let's all talk about it, and all of a sudden you're seeing it everywhere.
Yeah.
Which was very cool to see as a big fan of the game. And what's even wilder about it is I'd say 99% of everything seen was just positive. Just like, this is hilarious. Look at this. And then that would lead to the inevitable, like, players can really do this. Like, what else can they do? And that would kind of, you know, it's been a very interesting public discourse on that for sure.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's literally it, right? So it's what it intended to show. This game allows you to do much more than you expect, and it rewards you visually in ways that you do not expect. And so, it does a lot. There's a lot of scenes we could have picked. So this was one, but there's a lot of stuff that we could have picked.
Yeah. Did you guys expect it to, like, because I'm sure not only the social media presence, but I'm sure internally, like, sales shot up with everything with that. Did you expect that? Or were you just like, this is going to be a good way to show exactly what you just said, how big and how many things you could do in the game?
This is a very hard question because you don't know what the different permutations look like. We always expected BG3 to rise back into the charts as we got closer to release because we had a lot of wish lists. We also know what we made. We're very proud of what we made, so we think it's a very good game. So people will start talking about it, and so inevitably, hopefully, and that should lead to a picked up interest in the game.
Sure.
So the bear certainly helped because it's like we gave them an extra booster. Let's put it that way. But I would like to think that it's also because of all the other stuff that we've shown, all the gameplay that we've shown to people. There's a lot more. We had this little press event. There was a bunch of people that came there. They walked out, changed persons. They didn't expect it to be this extensive a game with that much depth and production quality, really. So we heard that a lot from people that were there. Maybe it's because we fed them and we gave them drinks and whatever. Obviously I tend to agree with them.
Sure. You're a little over 10-ish days now. What's the official countdown? How many days?
11
Baldur's?
days.
11 days. Thank you.
Hold on, let me check my Twitter.
Yeah, go to your
Yes, 11 days.
11 days till Baldur's Gate.
Actually, that brings up the question. 11 days and what time of day?
Oh,
perhaps?
I was going to say that's one of the first questions it was one of the
That's
most
true.
asked from the community is do we know a time at which we will be able to play on the 3rd?
So we wanted to do it very early in your morning, but Steam asked us to do it later, early in their morning, so that they could give the proper support. So it's going to be probably 10 o'clock in the morning.
Pacific?
Pacific, indeed.
Okay.
Okay. So that's a standard 1 p.m. ET.
Yeah,
Steam
exactly.
Wednesday. Okay.
This time, actually, now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, exactly.
On the 3rd.
So it might still change, but I mean, like, I think they want to be around. Last time Steam crashed when the game launched. It's very big, also. It's a very large game, so you need quite a lot of install. So there's going to be a lot of bytes traveling through the internet, I guess.
Sure.
That's still a thing.